3. Lipid. Lipids, or fat, are not dissolved in water, but can be dissolved in organic solvent such as chloroform and methanol. Fat is generally found in any kind of food. Some food has a lot of fat, some has less. Most of the fat in foods are principally triglyceride. Each triglyceride molecule is a compound of glycerol and fatty acid. Glycerol's role is the core that bonds the three fatty acids, of which types can be the same or different. Types of fatty acid. 1. Classified by the body's need, there are two types as follows. 1.1. Non-essential fatty acids are not only derived from foods, but also can be synthesized by our body, such as stearic acid, oleic acid, and palmitic acid. 1.2. Essential fatty acids are very important because our body cannot synthesize it. Eating food that has them is the only way to get them. Names of essential fatty acids are linoleic acid, linolenic acid, and arachidonic acid. Linoleic acid is found in most foods. Its importance is reducing cholesterol level, preventing skin diseases such as scabs are not a skin disease, helping the growth of tissue, helping recover from a cut or wound. Arachidonic acid is absorbed by our body from foods or alternatively from the derivatives of linolenic acid. 2. Classified by the saturation, there are two types as follows. 2.1. Unsaturated fatty acid is fatty acid which has fewer double bonds in its structure. Example: more hydrogen can be added. It has a low melting point, is easily soluble, such as vegetable oil like olive oil, linseed oil, and corn oil. Because it has oleic acid and linoleic acid inside, which gives lots of liquidity, sometimes fat from plant is commonly called oil. 2.2. Saturated fatty acid is fatty acid which is completely hydrogen atom bonded. It has a higher melting point than unsaturated fatty acid, such as fat from animals, in the types of palmitic, stearic acid, and arachidic acid. 3. Classified by the source, there are two groups as follows. 3.1. Fat from animal. This fat stays in solid form at room temperature. It will get hard. We can simply observe the fat from the inner part of pork, chicken, and cow. Most of them are saturated fat, some called bandit fat, because we always get fat from any kind of meat even though we do not intend to. 3.2. Fat from plants. Mostly comes from seeds, such as soybean, peanut, kapok, and oil-given trees, such as palm, coconut, and olive. Vegetables and fruits have less fat, except for avocados and olives. For petroleum and its products, such as gasoline, paraffin are not real fat because petroleum is a hydrocarbon that is a compound of hydrogen and carbon. It has no oxygen that our body can digest nor apply. The refined oil from rubber seeds is not recommended for cooking. The main properties of biomolecules in the type of lipid. 1. Solubility in nonpolar solvent, like hexane. 2. Rancidity occurs at high temperatures because the oxidation reaction at the double bond provides aldehydes and fatty acid, or hydrolysis occurs by microorganism which gain free fatty acid. Vegetable oil can hardly turn rancid because it has vitamin E as the antioxidant matter. 3. Hydrogenation is the reaction of adding hydrogen in the unsaturated fatty acid, turning it to a saturated fatty acid. This reaction is applied to use in the manufacturing of margarine and butter cream. 4. Hydrolysis in base solvent provides soap, salt of fatty acid, and glycerol. We call this reaction saponification. Roles and the importances of biomolecules in the type of lipid. 1. Fat in foods is important as follows. 1.1. It can make foods more tasty, better smelling, and have a better fine surface. Although fat and oil itself is not tasty, it can absorb food, odor, and improve the fine surface, helping foods taste better. Due to this fact, low-fat foods are usually dried and distasteful. 1.2. Our bodies feel satiated longer than with other types of food because our body digests fat slower, contrary to proteins and carbohydrates, which take less time to digest. 1.3. It helps dissolve some vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, K, and helps absorb those vitamins from food. Butter has lots of vitamin A, rice bran oil has vitamin E, and cod liver oil has vitamin A and D. 1.4. Offering fatty acids to the body growth and skin health in baby and children. 2. Fat in the body is important as follows. 2.1. Giving energy and heat. 1 gram of pure fat gives about 9 calories of energy. Every cell in the human body, except cells in the central nervous system, are remarkably able to use fat as a source of energy. 2.2. Preventing the crash of inner parts. The fat which cover the important organisms inside our body, such as abdominal and thoracic cavity, will function as the cushion for this effect. 2.3. Preventing the loss of heat. Because fat is a very poor heat conductor, half of the fat in our body is under the skin. It will help control body temperature. 2.4. Help supporting the shape of organism, such as cheek pouch, palm, and sole. Fat at the palm also help picking and holding things more conveniently. 2.5. Fat can change into carbohydrate and non-essential amino acids when the body needs them. 2.6. The fat in the type of sterol, such as cholesterol, can be changed into vitamin D,